So I just got this message from a student who's really struggling with programming, and the student was reflecting upon whether or not they're cut out for programming because they've been working with programming and trying to learn programming and been doing it a while, and now they're jumping into the Go stuff and they're trying to read the documentation, and it just seems like it's a foreign language to them. So I want to talk about the imposter syndrome in computer science and in programming, and then also the language specification of Go, and then my own experience learning programming and learning this language. And I want to speak to this individual and everybody who's ever wondered and doubted whether or not they have what it takes to be a programmer. And so I think the most important thing to know is that make sure you're enjoying what you're doing. And whenever you find yourself not enjoying what you're doing, like take a step back and just stop and take a breath. Take a deep breath. Or maybe take a day away or 2 days away, and then ask yourself and try to find whether or not that this is something you love doing and that you could come back to and enjoy doing it. I'm just going to make sure this video is still recording because my Google Pixel 2 has been airing out on me on the videos and Google doesn't replace them. Cool, so we're still recording. So the first thing is just to remember to enjoy what you're doing. And if you start to get too uptight or too stressed, that's just going to impede you from doing whatever it is well. Because stress is a useful emotion if you're being chased by lions or .NET programmers or some other group is chasing you. Stress and adrenaline is very helpful in that situation. But when it comes to performing optimally and learning, stress is detrimental. And so, trying to get to that place where you're in a state of enjoyment and not stressing is really important. And so just trying to find the joy with it. And part of that is perspective. And so when we put pressure on ourselves, stress often comes from wanting to be somewhere that we aren't. It's wishing that we were at point Z or point W or point N and we're at point C. We feel stressed because we want to push ourselves to get to that future point more quickly. And enjoyment comes from being where you're at. I know it's kind of zen and trippy, but that's why people like rock climbing or surfing. I mean, that's why I liked it, because it puts you in the present moment and you're utterly 100% focused upon the task at hand because it demands your attention. You drop into a large wave and it's exploding around you and you're racing down the line. It's like, I am right here, right now, doing nothing else but this. And so being in the present is where enjoyment comes from. So try to quit putting pressure upon yourself to be further along than you are or to move faster than you're moving, and try to focus upon where is it that I find the joy in what I'm doing, whatever it is. And so that's the first thing when it comes to programming. And then the second thing is, just accept that you move at whatever pace you move and apply yourself diligently. So work at it every day, enjoy it every day, and don't wish that you were going faster than you were going. If it's something that you enjoy, then that's great, do it. And over time you're going to get better. And you know that already. If you've been doing it for more than 3 months, you've already gotten better. You've already learned a ton. So just give yourself more time. The next thing I would say in the learning process is really try to find a mentor. And I don't know where that person be or who they would be. Hopefully I'm a virtual mentor to a lot of people. I really like sharing things that I wish I'd learned when I was growing up, and also that things I did learn from people. I'd like passing that on. So, but also try to find somebody that you code with, because anytime you could do something in a social context, that's going to serve you better, because we're social creatures. So finding a mentor to help teach and guide you is really important. I've been fortunate that Bill Kennedy took me under his wing, and though we're in different parts of the world, Bill Kennedy will take my calls and walk me through code, and he'll give me talks like these. So that's the importance of having a mentor, to help guide you and answer questions and to reassure you. And so the next thing is just to speak to my journey. So when I started learning to code, and some people, I did HTML and Cold Fusion starting back in 2000, but I didn't really start coding until 2013. And when I started learning to code, I was watching videos and it was frustrating and it brought me to my knees. And on several occasions, it brought me to my knees and I would have quit. If it wasn't for my kids, I would have quit. And then when Caleb Doxey, I leveraged a grant that we had and I put on a summer boot camp and I hired all the people I wanted to learn from and flew them in. And we all learned from amazing instructors, including Caleb Doxey, and he taught us for 4 weeks. And when Caleb Doxey was working with me, I feel like he just looked at me like and shook his head, like, oh man, like he expected so much more of me and I wasn't able to do it. And I could feel his frustration, and I felt like the dumb student. And so, I had to go through that. And I taught Go. When I first started teaching Go, I didn't have the answers. And I'd stand in front of the class not able to answer questions. I'd be like, I don't know. Let's try to find the answer together. And I felt like a failure because the teacher's supposed to have the answer. Even though I approached the class like an experiment exploration, let's figure it out together, there was still this pressure that the teacher should know, and I didn't. And so when I first started teaching Go, I didn't have the answers. And we figured it out together. And so I was very humbled in learning to code, and I'm still very humbled. And I've come a long ways, and there's still stuff that I totally don't get. And the things that I used to not get 2 years ago, they're more clear for me now, or I get them now. So that's my process. And just to summarize, what a good perspective is when learning and going on this journey is to enjoy what you're doing, to find a mentor, to not put pressure on yourself to be further along or to move faster, but just to focus on that joy and find a mentor. So that's my perspective on learning to code and whether anyone has what it takes. It doesn't matter, like you just give yourself time and you're going to figure it out. And the important thing is that you enjoy what you're doing and that you work at it every day. And in time, you work at it every day because it's a devotion. It's something to which you devote yourself. And it's something that's important to you and that you also enjoy. And then in time, you're going to get better. So that's my 2 cents on whether or not, this individual or anybody out there has what it takes to be a coder. And really that's the important question to ask is, do I enjoy being a coder? Right? And am I working at it on a regular basis? Because if you enjoy it and you work it on a regular basis, you're going to get better. And then try to find somebody that you could code with who has more experience than you, so you can learn from them. All right, I hope this video finds you well, and I hope it resonates with you and has value for you. Have a great day. Bye.